Y'all, if you only knew how long it's been since I recorded a video. It has probably been like 3 months, no lie. Like, last video I recorded was definitely, I think the last video on my channel. Which, I mean, I wouldn't know because I don't know when you guys are seeing this, but like the last video I recorded was it was just me talking about me getting my master's in publishing at Pace University, which is coincidentally what this video is going to be about. Not necessarily about my master's, it's going to be about internships, job opportunities, XYZ. I'm just going to be like blabbing things out at you. Because I've been wanting to make this video for a while. Like, I really wanted to follow up the last video about publishing with like another one real quick, but I was in the middle of the semester already and I really struggled through it. Not because the material was hard, what I was studying was hard, like the classes and stuff, but because I just wasn't prioritizing correctly, and as a result, I didn't do badly in my classes, but I could have done way better, which I think is the case for a lot of people. So let's just like, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna talk about internships. For the people who are watching this video, I'm assuming you guys are in the publishing industry, or you're trying to get into the industry, or you're just wondering what the industry is like to see whether or not you want to get into it or not. It's good that you're watching this video, not because I'm such an expert, but because you know, I've been trying to get into this industry since 2017, January, which is when I started my master's program. And I've learned quite a few things since then. Oh my god, I said January 2017, didn't I? No, I meant January 2018. Sorry about that, folks. Like, I graduated undergrad with my Bachelor of Fine Arts in Creative Writing May 2017. I didn't get into my master's program until January 2018. So just to be clear, sorry about that. I'll obviously link the video. Maybe that'll help you a little bit before you watch this one, because I might refer to that video a couple times, and you know, just in case you all are confused about what my journey has been like thus far. Anyways, yeah, so internships, job opportunities, yeah, it is hard. This industry is really hard to get into, especially since I'm in New York, and New York City is the hub of the publishing industry. This is the place people are flocking to if they want to get in to publishing, and they want a lot more options. You know, you can go to other big cities like Boston, you can go to San Fran, you can go to, I'm sure LA, I'm sure Miami, I'm sure like big cities within the US. You know, that's a pro that I guess I have because I live in my parents' house. I don't have to like save up money to come to New York because I already live here, so I can you know, take advantage of that. It's very hard to break into this industry, and I mean difficult in terms of, I suppose, how many people are applying and how many positions are out there. Now, when I go and look for internships, which is basically what I'm looking for at the moment for the most part. I mean, I am starting to look for entry-level positions because I will be graduating this May, so you know, I want to have a job lined up. But for the most part, for the last year, I have been looking for internships, and what I've noticed in my search is that there are a whole ton of internships available. You know, there are a lot of postings. However, just because there are a lot of postings doesn't mean that however many postings there are, there's like one for each posting. Like, you're competing with hundreds and hundreds of people, and not even just within New York. Like I said, people are like coming from everywhere. So something I never really looked into when I was looking at publishing and, you know, looking for a program to get into, which was really just Pace because I wasn't really looking for anything else. I never really knew how competitive publishing actually was. I don't think I ever really thought about it, to be honest with you. I'm not saying that I thought it would be easy to break into publishing. I mean, it's kind of just like a warning. If you are trying to break into it, you're gonna have to hustle. And I mean hustle. It's hard to sell yourself, it's hard to network. I mean, for me, I mean, in my videos, I'm like really like out, you know, talkative and stuff, but in real life, I'm not like this. I'm very much an introvert. So a person like me, it's hard to network, it's hard to sell myself in interviews and stuff like that. But for other people, it might be easy. Regardless whether it's easy for you or not, it is hard, you know, out here in these streets, okay? There can be internships where they want 1 to 3 interns, and there's one internship where they just want 1 intern. There are a whole ton of unpaid internships out here. Unpaid meaning they want you to work 4 to 6 months with no pay. They'll say something like, we'll give you a stipend or transportation money. You know, that's what my first internship actually was like. I did my first internship in publishing over the summer. It wasn't a publishing company, it wasn't a literary agency, it was more so like a company where other publishing houses contracted them to help copy edit and proofread manuscripts. So that was what I was mostly doing that summer. That was how my internship was. Like, I didn't get paid at all. I got a stipend. What, a stipend? I wasn't even a stipend. It was like transportation money, basically. Like, however much money it cost me to get to that location and to get home was how much I got paid. So like, basically they helped pay for a Metro card, you know, which was, you know, better than nothing. And unfortunately, if you're gonna get into publishing, you might as well just suck up the fact that you might have to do an unpaid internship. A lot of people have to do it. I mean, I still have a part-time. I still work part-time during the time that I was doing my internship. Luckily, they didn't ask me to work more than 2 days, and so I was able to work at my part-time 3 days a week as usual, and I was able to do my internship twice a week. But there are a lot of internships that are really just, you know, I could go in a whole rant, honestly, about how ridiculous these unpaid internships be asking from people. You know, like, they'll say some crazy stuff like, you know, we want you to come in 3 to 4 days a week for 3 to 6 months, like I just said, and we're not paying you. You would think that if you're an unpaid internship, you leave time for a person to like work part-time where they'll actually get money, and like maybe work twice a week where, you know, they want experience in publishing. But a lot of internships just don't care. Like, they'll literally ask you. Like, I just came from an interview today, which is why I'm dressed kind of like work casual a little bit today. It was a literary agency, and it looked really cute. The interviewers were really nice, and I thought it went really splendid. And, you know, it came down time for me to ask, you know, questions and stuff. And one of the questions I usually ask, even though I already know the answer because it's in the job posting, but just because, you know, I want to ask questions, I'll say, how many days a week or what days specifically do you want me to come in? And they'll say, you know, however many days. I'm assuming. It never really said how many days a week they wanted interns to come in or how many hours, because usually if they say hours, you can kind of guess how many days. They never said that specifically in the job posting, so that was a legit question I wanted to know. This agency, you know, the one doing the interview told me, yeah, we usually want people to come in 3 days a week, 9 to 6. So full work days, okay, usually 3 days a week. So, you know, again, you know, me assuming it's an unpaid thing, you know, it's going to be twice a week. She told me, you know, we usually want interns to come in 3 days a week, but we can negotiate because, you know, I had already been told her that I worked part-time 3 days a week. So we weren't going to, like, try and negotiate right then and there because I was kind of looking at her like, girl. And she was kind of like, okay, we'll just negotiate if we ever get to it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for a lot of people, I feel that unpaid gigs are something that might be a thing. Now, paid internships, on the other hand, are great. I mean, they don't pay like a lot. I mean, obviously it's like minimum wage. So like minimum wage in New York, I think 2019 now we're in, it's gonna be $15. My last paid internship was like last semester. That was $13, and it really helped me out a lot when it came to like paying tuition and stuff, and they allowed me to come in twice a week, which was really, really great. I don't even want to say it's harder to get paid internships, but I guess it is, because I'm sure there's a lot more people that want to get paid for their labor, and so a lot more people are going to be applying, and usually the people who just really are desperate for experience will be applying to unpaid internships. So what I've noticed is that you can get paid internships at places that are a little bit bigger in company size. So for example, my unpaid internship last summer was very, very small. It was a very, very small, it was like an office within a building, within a floor, you know, that's where everything was. It was like about like what, 9 employees, if that. My last internship was paid, it was a way bigger opportunity, an opportunity I kind of just fell into. I completely didn't even know the company, if I have to be completely honest, which is really bad. If you're gonna go for an interview, always research the company and kind of know what kind of books they publish, because I walked into this company not thinking it was anything crazy. I was happy that it was paid, but that was all I knew about it. Like, oh great, paid internship, yes. I don't know if I should even say, I can't even want to say the company. It's not Big Five. Like, I don't want, you know, it's not Big Five. Like, let me just say that off the bat. I have interviewed for some Big Five companies, but but it was still a really big company. They have a best-selling book that sold millions around the world. The main character of the book was a balloon in the Thanksgiving Day parade. That's where I interned. I was a digital publishing intern, and I mostly worked with ebooks and audiobooks. So my main task was, I was like looking up discrepancies between ebooks and the actual book to see what was wrong with it. And then I was looking up discrepancies between a book versus an audiobook. It was really, really fun. I really loved the people there. My mentors were amazing. I missed them so much. And if I could work there after I graduate, I would cry. So I think I pretty much just talked about my own experience. I really feel like I should have really just like kind of wrote down what I was going to touch on. I know I touched on the 2 internships I've done, and I've touched on how difficult it is to get an internship. And I think I kind of like laid out for y'all the difference between an unpaid and a paid, or not the difference because it's obvious what the difference is, but kind of just like the nature of it. So how to get one. So basically, like I said in the beginning of this video, y'all are gonna have to hustle. And when I mean hustle, I mean you need to be the first applicant of any publishing related job posting that you see. You guys should know this already if you've ever been to any kind of like career workshop or resume cover letter workshop. Make sure that your resume and cover letter are spotless. Like, it's amazing, it looks great, it's professional, it's easy to read, it's easy to understand, because people who are going to be reading your cover letter and resume are not going to take the time to try and decipher what the heck your style is or your layout is if your resume is just some jumbled mess. Like, they're just not going to do that. The one little mistake that you have on your resume and cover letter is like immediately thrown out. That like people just don't have time. There are so many people trying to get into publishing that like people just don't have time. The people who are looking to hire are just don't have time to try and understand whatever the frick you're trying to say. So you have to make sure that whatever you're trying to say makes sense. Like, you have to make sure that your cover letter accurately describes exactly what positions you've had so far, and you have to make yourself sound great. Like, you need to make yourself sound amazing. Like, for example, I'm an admin assistant at a university. I talk about how I work with the students and how many students I work with, how skilled I am as a worker in that sense. You know, it has nothing to do with publishing at all, but at the very least, I've worked over a year as an admin assistant. So at the very least, I know how to work in an office. I know how to file, I know how to type, I know how to do everything that an office assistant would know how to do. So if I was gonna go for an entry-level position in editorial assistant, for example, like, I pretty much have half the qualifications down pat because I've worked over a year in an office. I've worked in 2 publishing internships, so I have experience in a publishing setting. Besides that, you know, you need to make sure that you have your references set. Like, if they ask you for references, make sure you know what you're going to do. It's really hard to get references if you haven't worked yet. I know that for a fact. You know, for the longest time before I got a lot more jobs, I had to use professors, which I don't even know how I even got jobs with those kind of references. So whenever they ask you for references, make sure that you know who you want them to reach out to, and if they can really vouch for you. Make sure you tell your references that you put them down as a reference, because, you know, you don't want, you know, them to be hit up by someone at a publishing company and they're just like, who, you know what I'm saying? Like, make sure that you know, they know who you are and that they're a reference for something and XYZ. Now, in order to get an internship, you need to apply, and I already told you guys how to apply and what to look out for and what to make perfect. But you guys, it is so important to jump on any job posting that you see that's available within like the first day, because this, I feel, really helped me out in terms of getting a whole ton of interviews. I got, by the grace of God, so many interviews in 2018. I think because of this, because of the fact that my resume and cover letter were great, and I always looked them over and I always changed things. I had like different variations of my cover letter, like literally, and also just because I would stalk Indeed.com, I would stalk Internships.com, I would stalk bookjobs.com. I would stalk all of these websites that had everything to do with publishing, and I would refresh. I would edit. I would put down different terms like writing intern, editorial intern, marketing intern, publicity intern, like anything to do with publishing intern, like everything to do with publishing. I would have that already saved. Like, my computer at this point already knows what I'm looking for, because I do that so frequently. You need to stalk these job postings because you never know when they post. Like, it's very important that you're one of the first people to apply, because I think the reason why I've gotten so many internships by the grace of God and was able to get so many interviews is because I was always one of the first people to apply. Like, I remember for one company in particular that I'm really trying to intern for, I first got my interview in August, and I had applied to that internship within the first 25 minutes. I remember I saw the job posting, and it was within the first 25 minutes of posting that I sent in my application. And literally like a week later, I got asked in for an interview. Mind you, this is a big company. This is like a, you know, this is a nonprofit and it's a media company, but it was like it's a big company. You know, it's been around since the 1960s. So the fact that I was called in for an interview at this big ass place, I was just like, oh my God. And I didn't end up getting the internship, which was really sad. I cried actually. But I've been in contact with the director, the one who interviewed me, and we're, you know, hopefully something will come in my favor. I don't know. Like, it's really important to not only to build a network, even with the people that you're interviewing, but to also just apply as early as you can to these internships. Don't wait past, like, honestly, don't wait past like 3 days of applying, because it could be too late. By that point, I'm willing to bet there's at least like 50 people who have applied to that internship, and you know, it's gonna be harder and harder for you to get noticed within all those people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got interviewed at another media company that's like, you know, it's a TV show. I mean, both of them that I mentioned were both media and they're both on TV, but you know, that was shocking to me as well, because I was just like, oh my God, like, you know what I'm saying? Turned down by both, you know. It's hard, you know, I've been very discouraged a lot of the time in the past year applying to these things. I remember I interviewed at not the Big Five, but a very big international publishing company, and I must have gone to that place like 3 or 4 times interviewing, you know, not even like back to back within the same department, but like different departments. Apparently, one of the first department that I was applying to and interviewed for rejected me, but they told me that they shared my resume and cover letter with different departments because they liked me as an applicant, but they just couldn't take me or didn't want to take me, but they didn't want to lose me. So they shared my material with the other departments. And so I went into that place like 3 or 4 times. This was like the month of April last year, trying to get a summer internship, and like all of them turned me down at the end of the day, which was so pointless to me, because I was just like, if y'all are gonna share my material like to everybody basically and make me come in like 4 times, like the freaking doorman knows me by now, like might as well give me something, you know what I'm saying? So I was really discouraged after that experience, because I was just like, ugh. I think 2018 was a really great year for me career-wise, because it really showed me how much potential I actually have, and it really made me realize, you know, how competitive as an applicant I actually am. I don't really know what else to say besides, I feel like I've touched on a lot of things. I hope you guys like are taking what I'm saying and it makes sense, because I don't want to like not help you in some way. I'm not by any means anywhere where I want to be right now. I do still have a part-time, and I'm currently interviewing for another internship. Like I said, I interviewed today at a literary agency. Probably not, you know, gonna work out. But I do have an interview next week at a paid internship, a bigger company, not a Big Five. You know, I'm salty. Can you tell I'm salty whenever I say that? Like, not a Big Five, but you know, it's paid and it's a bigger company, but not Big Five. You know, I kept referring to Big Five as if you know, but just in case you don't know, Big Five. I'm not gonna say the ranking, because I for the life of me I can't remember. But I know it's Penguin Random House, Simon & Schuster, HarperCollins, Hachette Book Group, Macmillan. Did I say it all? I'm gonna be really embarrassed if I didn't say it all. I think I said all 5. Yeah, the 5 largest publishing companies in the world? Question mark? I don't know. The world? I guess so. Or I don't think it's the country. I think it's the world. I want to say it's the world. Okay, anyway, that's kind of it. If you have any other questions, you know, leave it down below. Let me know. Bottom line is, you gotta hustle. You gotta hustle hard. You gotta work hard. You have to really try very hard. Don't give up. It's very easy for you to be discouraged. You know, I've been rejected a ton of times. I've interviewed so many times since like April last year. It's hard. It's hard to put yourself out there. It's hard to network. It's hard to be rejected from all these opportunities. It's hard to not get interviews. I mean, I wouldn't know what that feels like, because, you know, like I said, your girl has been, you know, blessed to be getting noticed and to have her contact information shared with other people. Like, I never would have thought that for myself personally. So I'm very grateful to be in that position. However, now I would like to move a little bit ahead of interviews and start getting offers with an S. So I want that for y'all as well, even though y'all are my competition, obviously. But let's help each other out, you know? Let's network with each other. Where are you guys located? Where are you trying to like break into the industry? Are y'all in New York too? Like maybe I passed you in the street. Maybe you've been like, you know, in an interview at the same place I was in an hour before me. Who knows? Like, let me know where you guys are and where you're trying to like break into the industry. I'd be very curious to know. So I'm so glad I made this video. I think for the next time I make a video about publishing though, I might have to write down the points that I want to hit because I feel like I was all over the place, and sorry if that's the case. I do want to make a more coherent video. Hopefully I was coherent. I know I talk fast sometimes, but very excited to talk about publishing. I don't know. I'm very excited to help you guys, and I'm so excited to make these videos too. Like my last video did really well, so yeah, hopefully I helped you guys out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.